Thank you, Debbie.
12 seconds or less. I think, you know, we worry about this all of the time. I just, you know, one remembers not so many years ago when the Berlin Wall went down, and when communism faded away, and people said, my God, maybe, just maybe, with the demise of communism, we can create common purpose around the world. We can bring people together. You know, I remember before the Iron Curtain fell, we established in Burlington, Vermont, my wife Jane and I, we helped establish a sister city program with a city called Yaroslavl in Russia, an old Russian city. And we brought kids from Russia over. That was when the Soviet Union still existed. And I'll never forget, as long as I live, we took the kids out. I guess we did a picnic in a park in Burlington. And you saw these kids, they were teenagers, and they were walking together, and they were having fun together. And you look at yourself, and these are our supposed enemies. These are people we are spending zillions of dollars in preparation for a nuclear war to destroy both countries. Look, working toward a world of peace is not easy, and it's not going to happen tomorrow. But we have to do exactly the opposite of what Trump is doing. We have to understand deeply in our hearts that there is a common humanity out there. That whether you are black or white, whether you are a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian, we all have common goals and aspirations and feelings. We got to build on that. And we don't build on saying that these people are terrible, they are animals, and this one is this, and everybody is a terrorist. It ain't easy stuff, and a lot of bad folks out there, and I don't minimize that problem. But we as a planet right now, this country is spending $700 billion a year on weapons of destruction. And countries around the world are spending a lot of money as well. Think about what could happen to this planet if the United States led the world not just in nuclear weapons, but in bringing food to the hungry, education to the kids who can't go to school, housing to the people who are living out on the streets. Not just the United States, but countries around the world. So it is not easy, but I think we cannot continue this attitude of hatefulness. Somebody looks different than me, they have a different accent than I do, they're my enemy. Let's build on our common humanity, let's work together to address the crises of climate change and hunger and poverty all over the world.
Well, we'll go from questions globally with an inspiring and insightful answer, and now we bring it close to home. And this is from Allison in Middleton, Massachusetts. And her question is, how can we address the Second Amendment and begin to resolve the gun violence problems in schools? Parents are turning to homeschooling, and that does a great disservice to our national public school system.
I think I touched upon that. I believe in the Second Amendment, but like everything else, I mean, the Second Amendment does not mean that if somebody is a murderer and mentally unstable, that person should be able to walk into a gun store and buy a gun. Very few people believe that. It doesn't mean that you have the right to own a missile launching system in your backyard. And I think there is widespread agreement. People do have the right to own guns. Some people don't agree with that, but the vast majority of the Americans, including myself, agree with that. But as I mentioned before, there are common sense gun safety pieces of legislation that the American people want to have passed. And the time is long overdue for the President of the United States and for the Republican leadership in Congress to have the guts to stand with the American people against the NRA.